Hi there, Anthony Llewellyn here from AdvanceMed and the Career Doctor YouTube channel. Thanks to all of you who sent in your questions about our 2020 workshop. They were really good questions and I wanted to go through them and answer them for you right now. So first question was, will there be questions and answers at the 2020 workshop? Well, yes, there will be. And obviously by this question, we're not talking about whether we'll talk about interview questions and interview answers, although we will talk about that in some of the topics for the workshop, but there will definitely be questions and answers. So the way that will work is each session runs for about 45 minutes. Our presenters are very expert. Most of them have presented at our workshops before, and they know to present in a very tight, efficient, informative format. So there'll be plenty of time at the end of each live webinar for you to get all your questions and answers sorted. There'll be moderators for each session looking at your questions and helping to curate them and prioritize them and put them all together. Now, obviously, we want everyone to get the best benefit out of each session. So one thing that we would say is, if the session is, for example, about CVs, please ask you a question about CVs. Don't ask a question about the interview. There's a presentation on that later. Be respectful to other people attending the session who want to know about the topic that the expert is presenting on. Afterwards, there'll also be a process where you can ask a question of the presenter and the topic after the event has occurred. So the way that works is on each talk page, there's a section where you can post a comment, a bit like a WordPress blog or something like that. And we can engage and answer your questions asynchronously as well too. So for example, if you're particularly attending the talk using a replay, that'll help you to get your questions put up and answered too. So the presenters will look at that, but our team will also look at that. So I can't say who exactly is going to answer it, but you will get an expert answering your question. So plenty of attention to questions and answers. It's an interactive workshop. Next question, will there be replays? And I just mentioned that. There are definitely replays available. We'd like to encourage as many of you as possible to attend the talks live, but there are definitely options and ticketing options for getting access to any of the talks as a replay. We recognize that not everyone's going to be able to attend live at the exact time the presenter is presenting, so replays will generally go up about 2 or 3 days after that particular talk. Next question. Can the workshop be interactive? Well, I think I've already dealt with this in one way. There's plenty of interactivity on the website page. You can you'll be able to post questions and answers during the live webinars. You'll be able to ask questions or put comments on the talk pages. We'll be encouraging you to interact in that way. Now, if any of you though have been to any of our actual face-to-face live workshops, you know that we do make sure that there's plenty of interactivity there as well. So one of the ways we tend to do that is through audience polling. So it's likely a lot of the workshops will have some sort of interactive audience poll where you can interact in that way and get some ideas. In addition, some of our workshops will probably include some exercises for you to do or short activities to do in the time allotted to get you to implement some of the principles that we're suggesting you put in place. Will there be specific assistance for international medical graduates? Yes. This year, one of the good things about running this workshop in an online format, freed up in terms of having to run it on a certain day with a certain restricted amount of time, is that we can include additional topics. So you'll see already on the schedule that there are specific topics listed for international medical graduates. Now, a lot of the content that we teach at these workshops, whilst it's pitched and has been developed for trainee doctors, is generally relevant for international medical graduates. How to put together a resume, how to undertake an interview, that sort of thing. But we recognise that some of you want some specific tips, and they can be hard, being an IMG, trying to get a job in Australia, so we have some talks for that. As the workshop rolls on, there will be more talks specifically around the needs of IMGs. Particularly, the summit is going to follow the normal flow, or the normal-ish flow of annual medical recruitment in Australia. And it's not until that kind of tail end of the annual medical recruitment cycle around the sort of September, October, where the second round offers tend to come out, that's where the opportunities for international medical graduates are. So we want to sort of schedule some of the content for the time that's best for you guys to get as well. Will there be speakers from selection panels? Yes, definitely. Let me take you through the way we tend to approach speakers to present at our workshops. Generally, we bring in our experts from either one of two areas. Firstly, we have a bunch of senior doctors who are heavily involved in the recruitment and selection process, having sat across interview panels and gone through CVs and resumes, and in many cases prepared trainees for selection, like giving comments on their CV, suggesting referees, that sort of thing, for many years. So they've been through lots of episodes of this process. So they know what you need to do to get into the interview pile and to succeed at the interview, that sort of thing. So it's important to get that perspective on the selection process. But equally important, we believe it's important to get a perspective of current trainees who've successfully navigated parts of the process, because you want to get the perspective of the other side of the interview table and get some tips and tactics and suggestions from those experts too. So definitely lots of speakers from actual selection panels. Can you talk about what senior doctors and interviewers look for? Yes, definitely. A lot of our topics will be about how the chair of the selection panel reviews your CV, what they're looking for, particularly on the front page, and then also what is being sought after in the interview process. So perspectives from people that are actually heavily involved, as I say, in selection, in terms of what we're looking for. You know, what is critical to get across in that often 15 minutes it is for an interview. Sometimes it's a bit longer. So as I said, a lot of our talks are given by experts who've had a lot of experience and know what to sought for. In addition, you've got myself presenting a lot of the topics, and obviously I've had over 25 years experience in this particular area of medical recruitment, having reviewed thousands of CVs and sat in thousands of interviews as well. Know a lot about the different types of selection processes that happen both in hospitals as well as in colleges, etc. So plenty of expertise about what we're looking for in the interview. Can you make it more affordable? Yes, we can, and we have. So, you know, the prices for workshops in the past, because they've been face-to-face, because they've been held at a central location at a major city hotel, we've had to charge a reasonable amount for attendance to that workshop in order to, you know, cover costs. There's a lot more than goes into it, including the hotel. There's speaker fees, donations, audiovisual, other things that go into making a successful workshop. We definitely don't make you know, a big profit out of these workshops. I could do much other things that, yeah, I'm less passionate about to make better money if I wanted to. So the good things, anyway, about doing it online is, yes, we've removed the cost of the hotel from the equation, and that helps us to make it a bit cheaper for you. But the other thing about the online format, unconstrained from when we run it and what dates and all that sort of stuff, we can provide a bunch of different ticketing options. So, you know, if you want to go to one talk only, there's an option for that. If you want to pick 4 talks, there's an option for that. If you want the whole series of talks, there's an option for that. So we're trying to give people as many options as possible to make this not just an affordable experience, but getting more value out of it. Because the other thing that we're doing is actually providing more content, more information to more people. Because again, we're not limited to just one day of the year. So it's more accessible, it's more affordable, and there's even better value for you. So, yep, we can make it affordable, and we've done that. Will there be interview scenarios and model answers? So definitely. The key focus, and you know, we've seen from a lot of the survey results we've done so far in terms of what people are wanting again this year, and we know from past years, is the critical issue is preparing for the interview and how best to do that. Now, obviously, you know, we can't cover absolutely every question that might possibly come up in a doctor job interview, but it's interesting and it's remarkable how actually common. A lot of the questions are even across specialties, seniority, etc. And that's because often we're selecting for the same inherent qualities. So there are certain interview scenarios that come up regularly, and we'll take you through them in the workshop with the experts, and we'll give you the frameworks and some examples and some model answers. But actually the most important thing is having the framework and the ability to practice, knowing how to practice and what to prepare. So definitely plenty of interview scenarios and plenty of options for answering those interview questions. Will I be able to interact with the speakers later? So yes, you will. We recognise that some people won't have the opportunity to ask a question live. So there'll be the option on each talk page after the talk's occurred and after we posted the replay up for you to post a comment or a question, and we'll get you an answer. You've paid attention, you've paid your money, we want you to get the best value out of that particular talk. So if there's a question that you just didn't think of or didn't actually get answered or coming back to later, you want to post that, we can definitely help you out with that. And so it's just going to be a simple matter of posting your question as a comment on the talk page. We'll look at that and we'll get you an answer back. So definitely be able to interact with the speakers later. Now, some of the speakers may also give you their social links or other contacts. That's up to them. Certainly, if you want to talk to me, there are plenty of options for getting in contact with me as well. How many talks? Well, this is a good question. So you see we've got a bunch of talks. I think there's about 13, 14 listed up there on the site so far, and I'm organising more as we go on. It's kind of a rolling process. And the thing is, again, we're not constrained by time, so we can actually run as many talks as we want, and even repeat talks if it's something that's kind of there's a big demand for. So it's really up to you guys. We're hoping the community of doctors out there that are interested in better managing their medical career really get behind this new initiative. The more of you who sign up, who are prepared to pay a little bit of money to get this high value content, the more speakers we can source and the longer we can run this. And we've deliberately set this up because it's a bit uncertain at the moment as to how medical recruitment's happening this year. So we want to make this a platform that's available to you when you need it. And so we envisage, we've said at the moment, the summit's going to wrap up around August. It may be that we need to run a bit longer, and if we do need to run it a bit longer, we will run it a bit longer, depending on how medical recruitment's going. So if you guys get behind it, if you back us, we can get more speakers, we can get more topics covered, we can cover all the key extra questions that you might have, and as I said, even repeat talks if it's needed and it's helpful. So an unlimited number of talks potentially, but certainly it will be based on the audience and their engagement from this point onwards. But stay tuned, because we've got some more exciting announcements in the next couple of weeks of additional speakers. Part of the thing is the speakers aren't kind of used to this format either. They're used to kind of, I've got to come on a certain day. Now I'm saying, well, actually we can negotiate when you want to talk. So a lot of us just do a little bit of toing and froing about when they're available. Final question is, why can't it be face-to-face? Well, have you been allowed to go out lately? Yeah, look, we all recognise that it'd be lovely to run the workshop face-to-face, and so we've done that in the past, and that's been a helpful way, particularly people interacting with the experts. But, there's some limitations around that approach. One of the big limitations is, we've talked about already, the cost. Hosting it in a major city hotel puts the cost up a bit. It also limits us in numbers generally, because we've got to sort of decide how many that we can sort of think will come, and got to put some money forward fairly early on to reserve the hotel, so we can't just sort of book the biggest place possible and let more people come in. So that's part of the reason our workshops tend to sell out. We've got to sort of say about 150, 200. That's it. And then it's in a central location, and there's only so many days in the year, and only so many days that kind of are around the recruitment process. So it'd be lovely to move it around the country, and we've certainly had it in Brisbane before. I've had it in regional New South Wales. I've had approaches from Victoria. I've even had approaches from New Zealand in the past to run in New Zealand. We ran in Canberra. I ran a workshop in Canberra last year as well. It's great. But again, the value of having it in this online platform, firstly, there's some costs involved with an online platform, but it is a little bit cheaper than running it through hotels. So that, we've been able to reduce the cost, but it also means we can provide access to you wherever you are, as long as you've got internet connectivity, and provide it over a longer period of time, which means that you can engage with it more continuously and provide you more value, more content. So I actually kind of like that we're doing it this way this year. We're actually, we've been doing online teaching for some time. We're not Zoom novices or anything like that. We know how to make Zoom work. But I'm actually hopeful that this is going to be better for most people. So whilst, probably I'll be doing some face-to-face workshops in the future, hopefully in 2021, I suspect and I hope that this becomes an ongoing thing every year where we can actually provide better access to more people. So there you go. There's all your questions asked and answered. If you have any further questions about the summit, you can post them in the description below or hop on over to our page, workshop2020.advancemed.com.au, and I hope to see you soon online. Video.